Hello, I'm Jonathan Pierce, and we're back with our weekly performance tip from Pierce Performance. This week, I'm going to talk about what I do in the gym. I've had a couple people inquire about what my workout routine is like. I can talk about how I balance all of my different training in another episode, but today we'll talk about what I do in the gym and how I structure it into the week. For me, the gym is a chance to gain a few different items, and I actually just enjoy going to the gym, but the things that we can get are flexibility, or mobility is probably a better term. So mobility, I think, means to me, the ability of joints and soft tissues to work through a range of motion that you require. So I'm really going after mobility, just from a health standpoint and maintenance of what my body needs. The next thing is strength, and I think certain areas of our bodies tend to be weaker based on our lifestyle, based on what we do athletically, based on our work environment. So for me, I'm always looking for strength in my shoulders, strength in the posterior chain of my body. That's going to help my pursuits in running and also in doing manual therapy in my work. And I'm also looking for just absolute strength, recruitment of fibers. And then the other thing would be power and speed. I definitely care about being fast. I want to feel like explosive and fast and powerful. And so the gym is a good chance to gain that in another way besides sprinting or running hills or something, or stairs. And then the other thing along those lines is balancing the body. I think for me it's more fun to diversify my training in a week, to do some running and some time in the gym. And so I usually run 3 to 4 days a week in varying kind of distances and speeds, and then I also do 2 to 3 days in the gym, like we'll talk about. I'm a busy person. My gym routine is an hour from door to door, or sometimes longer, but I can get it done in an hour, and so we'll talk about that. I set up my life so I live 5 minutes from my gym, so I can be out the door and at my gym in 5 minutes if I kind of jog and skip and shuffle down there pretty quickly. So I usually get going, and sometimes while I'm walking and skipping, I do band exercises for my shoulders to get warm, and rotational things. But a lot of times I'm just jogging down and warming up that way. When I arrive at the gym, I spend about 15 minutes doing rehab-prehab work. So doing things to help my shoulder girdle stay strong. I've had a little bit of history of shoulder problems, so for me that's helpful, and it helps prevent injury when I'm treating in my practice. And then I also do a lot of dynamic warm-up, a lot of some sprint drills, a lot of lateral movements, a lot of rotational movements, and a variety of exercises to get warm and to feel good. And this kind of sets the tone for the rest of the workout, but really the rest of my day. So I'm usually at the 20-minute mark at this point, and then I will grab some weights and a rack or whatever equipment I need that day, and I'll start to do some lifts. So usually I superset my workout, so I'll do 3 or 4 different exercises in a row, and then take a little rest between, and I repeat that 3 to 4 to 5 times depending on what I'm doing. But it will always incorporate some sort of single leg exercise, like a single leg deadlift, and then I may go into a double leg clean for speed, or perhaps a push press for speed, and then some sort of like abdominal exercise that maybe ties in the shoulder girdle. Perhaps I'm doing hanging on a bar and then doing body curls or something like that. And then usually from there, that will take me about 20 minutes. Then from there I usually go into some sort of more power-based exercise, so probably a heavier lift, and I usually couple that with a plyometric exercise, so something that's quicker. For basically, I've recruited a lot of fibers in the heavier lift, and then I'm going to try to create really quick recruitment of them, and be very quick on the ground. Could be sprinting, could be plyos, could be box jumps, anything like that. Usually I do a few sets of those, and that will take about 10 minutes, and then that leaves me 10 minutes if I've only got an hour that day. And sometimes I have more, so I may spend a bit more time on rehab or prehab things and jogging home. But often I'll spend about 5 minutes doing Eldoa exercises, which are spinal elongation postures that help create space between the intervertebral discs of the spine. And so I'll do maybe between 4 and 5 of those postures depending on where I think the spine needs work. And then I will be off and jogging back home, and usually I can get all that done in 60 to 64 minutes. And I think a lot of us are very, very busy, but we should always try to put our fitness into our life. And I think if you can kind of create some sort of a flow that works for you, you can get a lot done even in a short amount of time. Thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Be well until then.